What is the funniest thing you've witnessed a child say to an adult? I've always heard kids say the darndest things, so what have you heard them say? The only one I have is kind of weak. She didn't say it, but my little niece flipped me the bird on FaceTime, and she was only around 3-4-ish, so make me laugh. My 4-year-old stood at the bottom of our stairs and yelled, "It's diarrhea day," before he went upstairs to poop. My 5-year-old exclaimed really loud while in the toy section of Target, "I need to go caca, it's coming out." That was great, dragging him across several aisles while hoping to God turds didn't start dropping out of his shorts. He's potty trained and likes boxer briefs. When I was 12 or so, I wanted these winter shoes that you crisscross the laces and then at the top of the show were hooks to wrap your laces around. I loudly said, Mom, I want those hooker boots." And a middle-aged woman gave me a death glare for being such a degenerate. Put ours in boxers and he had no problem using the facilities. Little boy underwear was too close to pull-ups and diapers for him. Mom, let me see what you have. Kid, a knife. Mom, no. Honorable mention for, can I pet that dog? When we were explaining to my son, who was 3 at the time, how his new baby sister was growing in mommy's tummy and would come out when she was ready, he asked, "How will the baby get out? Do you have stairs in your vagina?" You should have said, "It's more like a slide." Let me try. You already had your ride, sweetheart. Too bad it's not like a slip and slide. Haha. Wait, the kid knew what vagina is, but explaining uterus to him was too complicated? No, you silly goose. This was a brief excerpt from a longer conversation. I just shared the funny part. I almost spat my coffee. Great, I'm waiting for the doctor to come in the room for my checkup, and I hope I can stop laughing before she comes in. My friend's son was maybe 2-3. He loved Power Rangers and would randomly yell out, "Yellow power, pink power," etc. One day while in line at Walmart, he's doing his Power Ranger thing. He says, "White power." It was completely innocent. There was a black family behind in the line. Everyone just laughed. Apparently, when my oldest brother was little, he was at the post office with Mom. There was a black man in line behind them. This was rural New Hampshire in the 90s. 4-year-old brother casually remarks, "I didn't know we had blocks around here." A very sweet, innocent-looking 5-year-old neighbor girl once asked me if I would rather kill myself or be killed by my wife, which is a pretty tough question when you think about it. Genuinely quite tough to answer. Haha. Wow. Sounds like she either had an older brother or they had old episodes of Alfred Hitchcock shows to watch. She had just discovered the Would You Rather game. We were all sitting around on the porch having drinks and maybe a few other things. She was getting attention from the adults and it just spun totally out of control. One of the funniest, wildest things I've ever experienced. My freaking child. She is 3. When she was 2, we were in the checkout line at the grocery store and out of nowhere she goes, "Mommy, I just don't want you to hit me today." That child has never been hit a day in her life. I have no clue where she got that. I was discussing parenting with my Millan when I got the bright idea to say to my son, "Mommy and Daddy never hit you, do we?" He grinned and said, "Yes, all the time." Well, just in case you decided to start, she was making sure you knew she wasn't down for it. God, okay, so my niece, she is a little terror, partly bad parenting, breaking into abandoned homes at age 8 and other naughty, probably illegal stuff. Well, one time she was with the family at the store and not listening at all. She was about 5. Finally, she sees a bunch of people coming into the aisle and sank to her knees in front of her dad and loudly said, "Please, Daddy, don't hit me here. Not today, please." And the look of shock and confusion was legendary. He quickly gets her up and into a new aisle. He never touched those kids. He came back from Iraq different and had a bad head wound, so he'd yell or get angry quickly at weird things, but he never touched them in harm. But man, to this day, that little girl is still a holy terror. I used to babysit her, and man, do I have stories, lol. Wife in traffic, "Oh, come on." 4-year-old daughter, "Come on, motherfucker." Wife, "Where did you learn that?" Daughter, "Daddy." Daddy gets a long-winded talk about appropriate language to use in traffic. Daughter started saying Mother Hubbard a fuck ton more. My sister did the same thing, except she said her cuss words in Spanish, lol.
If you tied a string to your phone and tied it to a wall, you would never lose it again. Pretty smart kid we used to have that 30 or 40 years ago. The phone being attached to the wall. I had a wall phone in 2008. Same. I would stretch the cord across the kitchen and into my laundry room to have privacy talking to friends. I dated a woman who worked at a recovery house run by the Catholic Church. Her coworker's car was in the shop one day, so when I picked my girlfriend up, we gave her coworker a ride to pick up her 7-year-old niece. The coworker was sitting in the back asking her niece about her day, when suddenly, and apropos of nothing, the little girl said, "I know why you're not a Muslim. Your daddy's not in prison." WTF.
My girlfriend had briefed me for the encounter by saying her coworker was the white sheep of her family. She was paying her way through pre-med by working 2 jobs and was successful at all 3 endeavors. She was the product of an extramarital affair. Her mom's husband was in prison, as were both of her older sister's husbands. Her younger sister was dating an inmate, and she had invented a burqa with an access flap in the back for discreet sex during jailhouse visits that weren't supposed to be conjugal. Translated from Thai by my wife. We are waiting at a train station in southern Thailand, and an announcement is made that the train is delayed. 7 or 8-year-old boy says loudly, "What a shitty train." His mother immediately tells him not to use such language, and he replies, "But it is a shitty train. It's late." I was interviewing first graders recently about how they solve math problems. The answer is 8. How'd you get that? My mind told me. Well, can't argue with that, I guess. Standing in line at the grocery store. Mom and kid in front of me, large woman in front of them. The woman's pager went off. Yes, this was a long time ago. And the kid says, "Look out, Mom, she's backing up." I nearly passed out from keeping my laughter in check. Oh, gee, thank you for the laugh. This was hilarious. Absolutely burst out laughing. Was taking care of some 2-year-olds with their mom, and for some reason the mom's birthday came up. They couldn't believe it. They both go, "You were born too, Mommy?" Mind's blown. My niece was shocked about my sister and I had the same father and the same mother. It was just such a weird coincidence for them. I used to love to confuse my niece and nephew by telling them stuff like, "Your grandma is my mom, your mom is my sister." Family math is weird. I started explaining this and then they'd reply, "No, your mom is actually my daughter and your grandma is my grandma and you're my nephew," or whatever. I would just play along and be shocked. My niece would say, "Bullshit." Then we'd say, "Don't say that." So she just started saying, "Bullshit, don't say it," while wagging her finger at us. 2 good ones said by my son. 1, we were at a fish and chip shop and a woman was outside with her dog. In his loudest voice exclaimed, "Dad, look at the size of that dog's willy." 2, we were out in Liverpool and there were 2 women in burqas. He loudly pointed out the 2 ninjas. They overheard and laughed. When my niece was 4 years, my uncle's wife told her she needed to eat her green beans so she could grow up big and pretty. Without missing a beat, she said, "Didn't help you none." You could almost hear the record scratch. Damn. Did your uncle's wife ever make it out of the burn center? While at the zoo, "Dad, what sound does a moose make?" Kid, "Moo." Dad, "That's a cow, dude." As I'm walking into our neighborhood park, friend's granddaughter comes running towards me, yelling, "Mickey, Mickey, here you are. I've been looking for you." Each and every time it makes my day and touches my heart. She just turned 3 years old, such an adorable little angel. Not exactly the funniest thing, but certainly the sweetest. I was trying to see where the pee came out from a 3-year-old with a wet face. I was letting my nephew walk back and forth on the couch when he was very little. I was in front of him the whole time to catch him if he fell off. When he eventually did, I said, "Don't die." His sister, who heard me say this, yelled, "Let him die!" This grandma said to her granddaughter, "Have you lost your marbles?" The child answers, "I don't have any marbles." The little girl had no idea why everyone was laughing so hard. Husband told daughter, who was 3 or so, "Hold your horses." She went to her room and got her toy horse, and then looked at us very quizzically, waiting for the next instructions. When I was going to post-secondary school, I was staying with my brother and his kids. One morning, I was leaving for class and said goodbye to everyone, and my niece, who was probably 3, said loudly, "See you later, meathead." It was so unexpected, it was hilarious. When my niece was 4, I took her to Circuit City and let her run loose. She turned every TV to a Barney channel, top volume. When we got back to my parents' house, she told everyone I took her to an adult toy store. When my little cousin asked me how babies are made, and I said, they come from the stork. Then he said, "I don't get it, then who fucked the stork?" If you watch The Basement Yard, the host's daughter told him that she wanted Black Daddy instead of him. My 11-year-old nephew told me dirty jokes and pickup lines. God bless the interwebs. We were leaving church and shaking the pastor's hand. Apparently, I had complained at home that the communion wine wasn't very good. She told Father Paul, "You really should find a nice Merlot." I wanted to go straight into the floor at that moment. When my son was 3, I was telling him to eat more vegetables so he would grow big and tall. He then looks at our 4'10", 147-centimeter nanny dead serious. You need to start eating more vegetables. I didn't directly witness this, but I remember hearing someone on TV recalling a child saying part of the lyrics of patriotic song God Bless the USA. She said, "I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm 4. My 7-year-old brother, who has never played Fortnite, trash-talking me the entire time I played and didn't win every match. My son was learning to speak. He was learning how to say good day. It makes sense as he is Australian, by the way. His uncle was over one day, and as he was leaving, Uncle said, "Bye-bye, son's name. See you soon. Love you." My son waved his hand and lots of enthusiasm yelled back, "Gay!" He continued to wave hello and bye, shouting, "Gay!" for months, and I was mortified. No amount of correcting him to say bye, good day, or hello changed it. Absolutely mortified, as we have friends as such. Total innocent mistake, but wow, cringe. I took my toddler to the bathroom with me at a grocery store. He told me, "Remember to wipe your penis." I said, "I don't have a penis, I have a vagina." He asked, "Can I see your no penis?" I had no idea what to do, so I sputtered, "Not right now," as someone in the next stall guffawed. I washed my hands so fast and ran, so I didn't have to see their face. Years ago, a friend took their daughter to a military doctor for her inoculations. Note, the doctor was a Sikh and was wearing a turban. After the jobs were finished, the girl was not impressed. She told the doctor he was a naughty genie. My dad had a beard when my daughter was born. At age 2, he shaved it off. The first time she saw him after he shaved it, she was scared, but eventually recognized him when he spoke to her. Then she burst out crying. We assured her that it was the same grandpa, he just shaved his beard off. She wailed, "Shave it back on!"